Today I wanted to talk a little about my experience living with lifelong chronic depression, and maybe share some tips and solidarity with others who may be living with this particular illness. I'll also be playing some speed draw footage of some doodle pages, just characters who make me happy and get me through the bad days. There are a lot of preconceptions people have when they hear, "Oh, you're depressed." It's not just being sad all the time, and it doesn't always look like lying in bed in a dark room for hours. And importantly, it's not always caused by some traumatic life event or unfortunate circumstances. Sometimes your brain just doesn't work right, which turns out is the kind of depression that I have. There's a chemical imbalance in my brain that affects a lot of stuff, but most notably my serotonin levels. This is helped by a serotonin uptake inhibitor with my medication, but it isn't the same as a cure. I still have bad days. They're just less frequent and not as low of lows as I am unmedicated. When I first received my MDD diagnosis, it was in some ways a relief, knowing that it wasn't laziness or some personality flaw. It was a treatable chronic illness, but it was also disappointing to learn that it wasn't like my anxiety or panic attacks, things I also used to be plagued by. These are things which are practically non-existent now thanks to therapy. I'd hoped that my depression would be the same, but it wasn't. It wasn't that kind of depression. Something was physically wrong with my brain, and I had a chronic illness that required medication for probably the rest of my life. I talked a lot with my therapist and doctor, and also did more independent research in the wake of the diagnosis. It turned out that MDD explained a lot of things about my life thus far. My chronic cycles of insomnia and hypersomnia, MDD. My fluctuating appetite that's made it a struggle to keep healthy, steady eating habits, MDD. Regular periods of physical exhaustion, no matter how much I sleep, how well I'm eating, how much I exercise, and how balanced my blood tests are, MDD. And that's why once I accepted it, it was back to being a relief that at least now I know what's wrong with me. My brain is broken, but I'm not broken, you know? There's days when it's still hard to accept, when the guilt, especially the religious guilt, creeps in on me. Those days are hard, harder even than the days when I feel nothing at all. I've come to think of it like a fog that descends. It's dark and it's thick, and it obscures everything ahead of me, and some days I can see my next step or trust the steps I've taken before, but other days it's too much, and I just have to lie down where I am and wait for the fog to clear. And it always does. The fog clears, and I can see the stars, and then the sun will rise again, and I'll carry on in its light. But on those days or weeks or months when I'm struggling to feel or see the hope and joy in life, when I'm physically exhausted with unstable sleep and even more unstable social life, there's a few things I've learned really help me through the day, and I wanted to share those because who knows, maybe they may help you too. One is to take a shower. I know it's cliche, but I can't tell you how much showers give me that little extra boost. Even if I just get out of bed to shower, then crawl right back into bed, it can make all the difference. Changing clothes too. Even if you're just changing from one pair of pajamas to another, I can't recommend it enough. 2, buying quick and easy foods. Any eating is better than no eating. For me, this means lots of PB&Js, chicken nuggets, and ramen with eggs. I'll sometimes also just get like a big bag of salad greens and eat a literal fistful straight from the bag when I'm craving greens, but too tired to make a salad. Embrace your inner gremlin. 3 is comfort characters and comfort fiction. One thing that really helps me through my worst days is spending some time with a beloved work of fiction. For me, some of these are Miraculous Ladybug, Julie and the Phantoms, and Lord of the Rings. I can't tell you how many times I've watched these. They're my go-to pick-me-ups when I'm feeling miserable. Miraculous never fails to make me smile, Phantoms never fails to make me laugh, and Lord of the Rings never fails to make me cry. Another comfort fiction for me is Genshin Impact. Video games can be great if you're feeling unmotivated because it's an easy way to get a feeling of accomplishment with low stakes. Number 4 would be that as much as your job and life circumstances allow, Take a break from the things that aren't bringing you joy, even if they used to, and try to find things that at least bring you some comfort for now. For me, this meant putting some video projects on hold, getting rid of some self-imposed deadlines on my webcomic, and taking a break from working on my novel. Instead, I've been drawing fan art of my favorite characters, like these doodle pages, rewatching Miraculous for the umpteenth time, and doing video game streams because that's what brings me comfort, even on days when nothing brings me joy. And number 5, most importantly, I've learned to show myself the same grace I would show others in my situation. Treat yourself with kindness, patience, and understanding. Celebrate the little accomplishments like taking a shower or just sitting up in bed for a few minutes. So there's 5 things I've learned help me through the bad days. If you're watching this and also have MDD or have experienced another variety of depression, I hope this video maybe gave you some tips or at least some solidarity. What are your go-tos for getting through your own bad days? Comment down below. I'd love to hear. This is just my experience with MDD, and I know that every experience is different. Thanks so much for watching, and I wish you all hope, warmth, and peace this week. Be bold in life, brave in kindness, steadfast in hope, and abounding in love.